Wait. Welcome to the Alphabet Soup podcast.
Here we don't just spill the tea.
We slurp the soup.
Hi everyone! Did our intro get at least a little bit better? It would be concerning if it didn't, but anyway, welcome to the Alphabet Zoop.
Today, we bring you our third episode where we will discuss the B in the LGBTQ acronym, which is bisexual.
That's right. And today we are joined by Bedivere Gurion. Yay! Would you like to introduce
Hello.
yourself?
Hi, I'm Benny Gurion from Santa Isabel College of Manila.
And that's like oh my god, I just realized na like Bedivere and like they're both B, Bedivere bisexual. Our episode today is very
tama.
B. Okay.
Yeah, I'm also big, so triple B.
No!
Okay.
Big by Bedivere.
Yeah,
BBB.
that's accurate.
BBB. Big Bye Betty.
Big by Betty.
That should be
Okay.
my nickname, you know.
BBB.
Yeah, it will be your nickname on this podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Big Bye, Betty. It's nice.
Moving on, Benevere here is like our guest in today's episode because as we said before, you also identify as bisexual, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Now, first we're going to discuss like what it means to be bisexual, right? Because like the generally understood notion of being bisexual is being attracted to both the male and female gender, right?
Yeah. But being bisexual means like different things to people because here attraction isn't simply like a 50-50 split, right? So
Bedivere,
this also yes,
like let's also get Bedivere's input as like the
Yeah.
representative of their community.
Yeah. There's a lot of misconceptions about it, but bisexual is not just romantically and sexually attracted to both men and women. It's more than that.
Oh, right. Because this also includes how bisexuality and pansexuality can coincide, right? Because
Yeah, but of course nga, there's still very different identities. It's just like like as we discussed before in our pilot episode, pansexuality is like the attraction regardless of gender nga, 'di ba? So, nga. And of course we'll be going into the misconceptions of being bi then, 'di ba? We'll be going into it with our guest here, si Betty, Big Bad Ben, ay
Betty.
Big
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 bad
Bye
Betty.
Ben.
Wow,
Big
now
bad
I'm
Betty.
bad.
No, no Cole's bad. You're good.
Sorry. Okay. So first, yeah, yun nga, misconceptions, like general misconceptions nga is yun nga, that bisexual is just, being attracted to male and female. But of course, hindi lang yun. Like being bisexual, like from the like isn't just how it's generally understood na male and female because like we've like nasabi na nga rin natin dati na there's more than just that gender binary. So and like being bisexual by definition is being attracted to like two genders. So with this in mind, well, essay, with this in mind, na it shouldn't just be like male and female. It could be like male or like a non-binary identity, like being male and being attracted like genderqueer people. Like it's just two genders, not necessarily male and female. Nga.
Yeah, but there are lots of
Yeah,
questions
yeah.
that are asking, which gender do you prefer, like male or female? So what's your take on that, Betty?
That's the biggest misconception kasi. Like, it's being compared to pansexuality and bisexual. My take on people letting me choose between male and female, it's kind of a bit offensive kasi kasi sometimes bi has their own, how do you say this? May sarili silang taste like that. It
Yeah.
depends on their environment, on their mood siguro. Kasi for me, it depends on my mood whether I get attracted to a girl or a boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that clears it up.
Just to add niya, like it's
Yeah.
yun nga, like it's
So
kind of like being gender fluid na some days, like at some time you feel more masculine, sometime you feel more feminine, and that's how you identify as. Like me, parang it's really dependent on what that person feels at the moment. It can be the same nga, but bi is more on the attraction, and like gender fluid is being more on the identity. So yun lang. Okay,
Yeah.
moving
Okay.
on to the next misconception that bisexuality is just being attracted to like a cisgender male or a cisgender female, which is uh it's kind of infuriating then like for me personally, like me not even being bi, because this misconception is rooted in transphobia na parang that they're not like, when people are attracted, like bi people are only attracted to cis men and women, like it's kind of like deleting the trans identity na they're not actually men, or they're not like in that way, that they're not actually men or they're not actually women. So yeah, Burns, what do you think about that?
This, I have the same thoughts as you, honestly, because you know, like bisexuals are not only attracted not to cisgenders, can also be transgenders, diba? Like they shouldn't exclude them from the narrative.
yeah, that's why they sometimes misunderstood the concept of bisexuality. Kasi yung society's what they call this, norms on what they set to people,
Yeah.
kaya minsan misunderstood yung community.
Yeah, that's true.
Heteronormativity.
Mm-mm.
After din niya, like connecting to that nga, like when tapos there's this notion nga sa heteronormativity, like na it's connected to the previous misconception na if a bi person is like in a heterosexual relationship, yeah, na, for example, they're a bisexual man and they're dating a woman, that means na, oh, they're not really bisexual, or this also applies na if they're dating someone of the same sex, parang na sinasabi nila na, oh, hindi ka bi, bakla ka lang talaga, yung parang like it's deletion of identity, like just because you're in a relationship na not necessarily na within the notions na bi ka, parang erasing na your identity. Betty, have you ever like experienced that nga na?
Yes, I have experienced that nung one time na I came out na yon. Then some people just say you're just gay. There's no such thing as that na you can be attracted to both. Yun. It's just a sugarcoat for gay. Yung ganon.
Oo, yung parang it like being biased just a phase, like before you become like fully gay or like whatever that means, 'di ba?
Yeah, yung ganon, yung parang it's just a step na magiging bakla ka din soon, magiging tomboy ka din soon. Ganun.
Yeah, like
What are they, fortune tellers?
Yeah. Parang yung bi people daw parang lang siya, pre-evolution before evolving into a fully grown gay. Parang
Ganon, parang siyang evolution of LGBT community.
parang pag pinanganak ka, you're just straight, and then you evolve into a bi person, and then after that you nakakainis.
Oh.
Yeah.
As if they
So,
know
evolution
anything
of
about
man.
as if they know anything about LGBT, tapos they're saying it like research nila yun.
Yeah.
Medyo narrow-minded lang yung kasing ganun na mindset.
Okay. Now, there's this notion din na you're more likely to cheat, or like you're not gonna be like loyal kasi parang there's always this other part of you that's longing for the other gender na you're not with. Parang ganun daw yung general notion nun. Diba? And that's also like nakakainis din yun, like even as a person who's not bi, like, and I see people like struggling with that, like people who are telling them na you're more likely to cheat just because you're bi. Parang nakakagalit lang din because like what's yung logic nun, parang super like out of place, diba?
Yeah, our misconception is really annoying. But yeah, what do you feel, Betty, about this thing?
Dami ko nakikita ganun, like yung like in TikTok, you know, I can see some TikToks about that. Pero nakakainis kasi bi people also know how to be satisfied to one person naman. They don't really cheat kasi, you know, we have managed naman.
And
Yeah.
They're thinking na hindi kami loyal just because we can be attracted to both sexes.
exactly. And like in case, just like of course bi people are still, they're human, so they're gonna do some like bad stuff. And like if ever that a bi person cheats, that's not because they're bi. That's because they're just like, munti na ako magmura.
Yeah.
Munti na
I
ako
will
magmura.
slap you
The
again.
person
Yeah.
naman, not the gender.
Yeah,
Exactly. It's
it's the
the person.
person.
If like whenever somebody tries to do bad stuff, like they always associate it with like the minority group that they identify as,
Yeah,
and
they're like,
this is
oh,
one
they're
of
bi.
those.
That's why they cheated. But no, it's just the
Mm-hmm.
person being bad.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
like
Okay.
nakakainis.
Yeah.
Now moving on.
Okay, so
uh
this is the last misconception.
okay, which
Yay!
is na ano, like only cishet people can be biphobic. Later we'll get into like the notions of being biphobic. But yun nga, like only people who aren't part of the LGBTQ community can be, discriminatory against bi people, which is not the case. Never the case. There's so much internal, like there's like the LGBTQ community has its own civil wars naman. Kaya
Yeah. Have you
there's
experienced that, Betty? Yung mga...
like people from within the community are, being like they're like this, like they're discriminating you based on your identity.
When I was in grade 10, I have this friend who is gay, and I actually looked at him, and then I think he's cute, pero, and then he told me na I can't be with him kasi he knows that I won't be, hindi ako magiging loyal, yung ganon, kasi he knows that I'm bi and I can be attracted to another sex. And then I could change, like, mabilis ang palit afterwards. Like, ganon.
Oh, this is two misconceptions in one.
Yeah.
Two in
Oh
one.
my god.
Oh no.
Medyo nakakainis.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that's so
so true.
infuriating. Grabe. The people that like that you know that each identity has their own struggles, but this is the main one for like being bi, like their deletion of their identity na for porket na bi sila, like there's no like actual, parang at least when you say you're gay, there's this notion na okay, you know what being gay is. But when you're a bi, it's kind of like this halfway point na nobody really knows what to do with it. Kaya nobody can like pinpoint what exactly being bi is, except of course being a bi person yourself. You'll be able to, pinpoint it within yourself, but like people from the outside can't do that, and that's why they kind of like just ignore it, and they like act like you don't actually exist, because wrapping your head around the concept of being attracted to two genders, it's kind of like hard, especially being like in a world where the notion of, heterosexuality is always pushed like on us. Kaya and not just heterosexuality, also monogamy, which is, I mean, that's a story for another day. But yeah, dahil dun sa dalawang notions na yun, like nadidelete yung identity ng pagiging bi. Diba? Like, is that what, yeah, diba? Yeah,
We
now we'll
never
be,
acknowledge kasi the bisexuality. So,
yeah. And like, pati din sa usually kapag sa media, they're like bisexuality is like treated as a trump card for to make a character interesting. I know so many people. Char.
Oh
Pero like,
no.
but yeah, it's a whole thing. But now we'll be discussing like specifically, what biphobia is. Bernice, do you want to take this?
Okay, so basically, biphobia occurs in different forms, like from mocking jokes about it being a phase and how you should pick a side. But this has not been addressed properly because even some in the community are biphobic, as we discussed a while ago, and bisexuals are also constantly invalidated and excluded from the LGBTQ narratives.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, here's another misconception. Bisexuals aren't oppressed like lesbians and gay men since they are half straight, therefore they have heterosexual privilege.
And like,
What do you?
yung,
Yeah.
yun pa din, diba? Like another thing about being bi is like you're just seen as like half straight and half gay. Which is like, no, they're not. They're just bi. That's not being half gay or not half, they're just half straight. Which is
Yeah.
like, what do you think about that, Betty?
Yung ganung mindset, nakakainis. Because how would others outside the community acknowledge it if within the community there's discrimination about it? So, paano pa natin papangaralan yung iba outside if within the community, hindi nila na-accept yung ganong concept.
For them, it's like bisexuality is such a hard concept to wrap their heads around because they
Yeah.
can't accept na there's something in between because they can only understand na there's straight and there's like gay, but they don't know what bi is because
Mhm.
it's not like the complete opposite of either.
Hindi ko alam kung narinig niyo yun. I accidentally hit my comb on the table. And hindi ko alam kung narinig niyo yung bang. But
Oh no,
yeah,
don't
sorry.
worry.
Okay. But yeah, moving on. Where were we? Oh yeah, there's then like being biphobic is like ano nga. There's this notion nga din na being bi is like kind of transphobic na because you're like fitting into the gender norms of the male and female, being attracted to male and female. But yeah, this goes back on that to the fact that being bi is not just being attracted to male and female, and it's not just being attracted to cisgendered females and cisgendered males. Kaya being trans is still being, even if you're a trans man nga and you're a trans woman, that's still being a man and still being a woman. You can never like take that away from them. Wala lang. Kasi
They should
it's
acknowledge
super.
yung choice nila.
Yeah, because
So,
honestly, yung mga trans, to be honest, like in my opinion, they have, for me, it's like they struggle the most out of yung lahat ng LGBTQ because imagine being invalidated for their own gender because they,
True.
for example, they identify as a woman, but since they're biologically born as a man, they're being like bullied already.
yeah.
Yeah, they have the most struggles to deal with.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
but of course, yeah. We'll get into that like on the I think next episode siya, 'di ba? Where we'll
Yeah,
be
next
inviting
episode.
another guest to discuss about her trans experience. There's this also notion like of course there's internal homophobia which we've probably discussed before. And like there's also like internalized biphobia, which is yun nga na the notion of being ashamed of your identity as being bisexual. So like Betty, like have you ever like gone through this like no phase of being like afraid of your ashamed of your own identity?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Since I wanted to make my parents proud, tried to be I tried to hide it and be ashamed of it para mawala ako dun sa ganong stage.
Mm,
That's how it's like talaga for a lot
mm-hmm.
of people in the bi community, which is really, it's
Which
really
is yeah,
sad.
it's sad. Like nobody should be ashamed for being bi. Now,
Okay.
moving on nga to the
Internalized biphobia.
yun nga, because of that, like, kasi, like, part of it nga din is, like, we don't have representation in any media, like, at all. Like, onti lang. Like,
Yeah.
everybody in the LGBTQ community, this applies to everybody, na we don't have enough representation. Like, some may say na, oh, there's already too much representation of the LGBT. No, there's not. You know how many straight people have been in the movies when it all started? Like all of them were literally straight until like a few decades ago. It's just infuriating natin. So like there's this
True.
also notion na being bi is, it's something na basta yeah, internalized homophobia it's problematic and it's something that could be easily solved if only like we're not putting this shame on our children na being attracted to anything else besides your opposite gender is something to be shameful of.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Starts with the family kasi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially with the family. Tapos,
Mm.
you talked about how they don't have that much representation, right, in media,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
bisexuals.
Yeah.
Usually, like in media, they're barely represented, but when they are like sexualized, diba?
Yeah.
Like they
Yes.
are. Would you like to handle this, Cole?
Wait, sorry, where were we? Uh oh yeah. Na whenever they're represented, like at times it's like even problematic the way that they are. Kasi like, sometimes it can go like two ways nga. Na one, they're represented as they just like for example in a show, they say that this person is a bi person, but then they just show them in like heterosexual relationships for the rest of the show, and they don't do anything about her, like his or her identity, besides saying that he or she is bi, and that's it.
Mm.
Or the other way around, which is, I don't know if it's more harmful or not. Na they showed them in like relationships nga, in like both like homosexual and heterosexual relationships, but then they do it in a problematic way na they're not being loyal nga, na they're appealing to the misconception na they're like not loyal and they're going to like cheat, which is
True.
yeah.
Yeah.
They try to disregard kasi the concept of bisexuality. It's either,
Yeah.
dalawa lang kasi yung ginagawa ng media. It's either gay ka, it's either lesbian ka, or it's either half straight ka. So
Yeah.
it's what they will show. So that's why people get or have misconceptions about bisexuality, since media does not properly spread information.
That's true. Especially like for entertainment, they don't even represent them like that well.
True.
Like it's not accurate. Like there
Mm-hmm.
are times where bisexuals are constantly written about in songs, like in a sexual way, but never really in, like those romantic songs na like respectful lang.
More on an
Yeah.
explicit song. Ganun.
Yeah.
Or they're like, yun nga kasi they're very like, being bisexual usually is like in media, it's very sexually charged. Kaya nga, ayun nga din, there's this misconception na, like, they're very, what do you call this? They're very, yun nga, ayun, sexualized. Kaya, they're very active sexually nga. Like, that's how they're usually represented. Kasi, that's always the notion of being bi. And like, misconceptually, of course. Not saying na yun nga, that's the real, all bi people are actually. But yun nga, they're always viewed to be like, always down for like, polyamory, like, usually like nakikita niyo sa like whenever like straight couple is going to be like, like they're going to explore their own, like they're going to be adventurous, quote unquote, in their relationship, and they invite a third party to, tapos it's always like the bi person, and like parang siya lang, that's the only purpose of that character, to be, to be the third party in like a couple, like a heterosexual couple. Or if not, or like if they're in like, that heterosexual relationship, they're always gonna be the one who convinces their partner to explore nga, which is not always the case, because bi people can still be monogamous. Of course, like nothing against polyamory, but like monogamy is still, it's still very a very real thing that, bi people want to be a part of. Just because they're bi doesn't mean that they can't be in part of a monogamous relationship.
Yeah, because again, being biased the sexuality, it's like it's in the person talaga. It depends on the person whether to be monogamous or polyamorous. It's not the
Mhm.
sexuality.
The
Yeah.
sexuality, the person
Mm.
itself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hindi nila nakukuha yung misconception na hindi kami loyal, yung ganun. Kasi they always
Yeah.
tend to make us look like the third party who destroys relationship. Like,
Mm-hmm.
hello?
Yeah.
Now, as like the representative of the bi community for this podcast, would you like to tell us about yourself?
Yeah.
For
This is,
yeah.
ito na we're in this portion, at that portion now where we're gonna talk about you specifically and your experience being part of the like LGBTQ Gen Z
Yeah.
youth.
Give them an accurate representation of what being bi really is like.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Kasi it started when I was in grade 7. I tried to be in denial. Like, sabi ko, cute lang yung boy. Okay, cute lang siya, cute.
Mm.
And I tried,
I'm very
I tried
familiar.
Yeah.
Very
I tried
familiar.
entering into a heterosexual relationship, and then I'm trying to deal with that girl. Pero I tend to be attracted to this boy. Pero I tried keeping to myself na cute lang yan. There's nothing more, there's nothing less. Yun, cute lang talaga. And then
Familiar.
people, my classmates started teasing me that I'm gay. I'm not there's no such thing as bi. I'm just straight gay. Like gay. And then grade 8, I came out as bi, and then yon, I didn't came out here in my family first. Sa friends ko muna, since I'm still scared. So kung ano masasabi
Yeah.
nila.
Ah,
Then
but wait lang, sorry.
yeah, go.
But
It's fine.
since
So
your friends assumed that you were gay, didn't you like question yourself na, oh, am I really gay? Or did you just find out na that you're already bi before you questioned na you're gay?
no, I tried to disregard what they say kasi sinasabi ko, I know myself better than others. So I know that I am bi and I am well educated to what the LGBT community is. And I know in myself na I'm bi that time. Then one time I had a crush on this boy. Crush na, hindi na siya cute.
Okay, okay.
Tapos, tapos, and then yung mga tropa ni boy na sinasabi that I'm gay. And then, I got mad at them kasi I tried telling them na there's a difference between gay and bi, but they won't bother to listen. So, I got tired and then just left them. Then grade 9, I came out to my parents, both of my parents. Actually, accidental lang yung pag-came out ko sa dad ko. Pero sa mami ko, it was intentional. And yeah, my mom accepted it agad. Kasi sinabi niya na there's nothing we can do. You're still my son. And what makes you happy makes you happy. But my dad did not actually accept it fast. But this, yeah. Parang may something pa. Kasi my dad is also has one misconception that, yun nga, siya yung nagsabi sa akin na it's just a space going to gay.
Oh.
Like, parang, ganun din yon, bakla din yan, ganyan. So, dun ko pa lang na-question yung sarili ko na, is it true na gay ba talaga yan? Or ganyan. Tapos yun. Then, I started being free mid-grade 9 till now. Yeah.
But coming out to your parents, like, must have took a lot of courage, especially to your dad. Did you,
super sakit at first. Kasi I know na hindi tanggap agad ni daddy that time since it was accidental nga. So, medyo biglaan and shocking sa kanya. So, yun. I tried to live with dad's, ini-ignore niya ako nun. Mga ilang weeks niya akong in-ignore nun. Pero,
that's...
Yeah. It's fine now.
What about now? Okay na.
It's okay. We're trying to building up a relationship again.
Oh, that's good. That's
good for you.
Yeah.
And I'm happy na your mom like supports.
Yeah, I'm a mommy's boy kasi, so.
Your mom loves you.
Yeah.
Now, well, like, you mentioned then like before you came out to your parents and like before you came out to your friends, you already knew, right, na you are bi.
Yeah, I already knew pero I kept on denying it. I'm trying to make myself na straight kasi I don't want to disappoint my parents, you know.
Okay, kasi like, was there ever that time na you felt like you were pretending to be someone you're not?
Yeah, there is. Yung time na I was pretending I was straight.
And like how hard was that for you? Like personally?
Super hard kasi restricted ka sa actions na gusto mong gawin. Kasi you're afraid na they might judge you. So, ang gagawin mo lang is sit still, do yung normal things na gagawin mo, and then you would do what you think straight guys would do. Ganun. It's hard. Very hard to
Yeah.
keep it.
Yeah, because it's not really you.
Totoo.
Like, wait. But now you're in how, grade 12 ka na rin ba?
12. Yeah, 12.
Yeah, nice. So like,
Nice.
uh, so like now you've been out for like since your parents, you've been out for like 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years. 3 years.
So like
Mm-mm.
during that time, like what were the usual questions that were asked? Like when people find out that you were bi, like of course there's like usually that set of questions na tinatanong sa'yo like, uy, bi ka? Like, paano yung ganto, ganyan, blah, blah, blah. Like what are those kind of questions na laging natatanong sa'yo?
There's this common question lang na lagi nilang tinatanong sa akin kasi, why am I only interacting with guys and not girls? Sabi ko, medyo na ano ako doon kasi I've been parang proud naman sa self ko na I am attracted to this girl, I'm attracted to this boy. Pero I don't want to mix it up kasi baka they will think na I'm not loyal, na I'll stick to two, both girls and boy. Tapos yun, paulit-ulit sila na bakit lalaki lang, bakit hindi babae, ganon.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That makes sense. But wait, I forgot what I was going to say.
What do you call this?
That he's being mindful for
Huh?
he's being mindful for his partner ba?
I'm siguro yeah, oo. That time iniisip ko na kunyari, I'll stick to this boy muna since ayoko namang isipin niya hindi ako loyal, ganun.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Okay. So like, have you ever, yun nga, besides that one encounter na yung gay friend mo nga na sinabi na ayaw niya sa'yo dahil bi ka, iniisip niya na hindi ka daw kasi magiging loyal. Besides that one experience, like, have you ever felt invalidated by like any other part of the community? Like, kahit like small interaction lang. Kasi like, it's very common among bisexual people nga, di ba?
Wala, siya lang talaga.
At least, that's just the one incident. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I tried to be careful kasi on choosing friends na.
That's
Oh,
good.
that's good. You're actually you're really wise, like since you're grade 7, kasi you already knew na you were bi and you stood for it, like with your classmates, no?
Yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Now,
Now,
do you
read
want
the
to,
submissions.
yeah, no, wait, do you want to like, Betty, do you want to like share any more experiences about like your experience being like an LGBTQ youth? Like any experience at all, like that relates to being part of the community?
I want to share my experience yung sa choosing your friends. Yun.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Kasi that's where you were, kung dun ka magsa-start, you'll live happily kasi you'll surround yourself with good people who understands and accepts you. Kasi I had this friend, I thought na totoo siya. Yun pala, he was spreading false information about me na I'm just gay, I'm not bi. And then, so that other boys would, parang ignore me or layuan ako, ganon. Then, I've been friends with him for 5 years ata. And then, parang na loss of communication na kami after ko mag-out, yung ganon. Yeah, yun lang. Choose your friends wisely.
Yeah. I think everyone should choose their friends wisely. It's like,
True.
I can't believe somebody na you were friends with for 5 years would do that. Tapos, not only that, like the guys na he told that you're gay, they just avoided you because you're gay daw. Like, they thought you were gay. As if you would be attracted to them.
True.
Yeah. Grabe. But now you have good community.
Medyo hindi siya surprising kasi I know he's a bit of a homophobic, so I know.
Yikes.
It's not surprising anymore na. There's people like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people like that. That's why we have a podcast like this.
Yeah.
So
Good.
yeah, if they
Yeah, this
ever
is what
hear
it's
about
for.
this, yeah, this is what it's for. If they ever like listen to this, they'll know what they're doing wrong.
True.
And maybe like even if they haven't done like that's it's for other people na even if they haven't done anything wrong, but they just they're just generally like I don't know like unaware of what's going on within the community, or like the things that they can or can't do for us,
Mm-mm.
'di ba? At least this is like or like a parang like a crash course na rin on like what to do, what not to do, para they're prepared themselves.
So that they can avoid, being like those people,
Yes.
those
Yeah.
Para they
homophobes.
can get educated like that.
So
Okay.
now let's read the submissions of the
Yeah.
experiences of other bisexuals.
As for one of our story submissions, bisexual girl who goes by she her pronouns. This is her story. I've always liked girls ever since I started studying, and I didn't see anything wrong with it. I knew I was normal, and it was just a matter of preferences. Growing up, I was never really close with my mom or nor my dad, so I've learned to bottle everything up and just do what I normally do. I've gone out with girls and guys, but it never really worked out. I just learned that I lean more to girls than I do with guys. I never really hid the fact that I like both genders, but I forgot that not everyone would be open about that kind of mindset, especially not my mom. My mom found out because she saw a text from my ex and she became furious. I even had to go out and stay with my cousin for a few days. When she finally let me back home, I had to lock myself in my room because my mom didn't even want to look at me nor stay in the same room as I did. Whenever talks about jowa or mu come up, laging
More
isasabat
MU.
ng mu. Oh my god.
Oh.
More MU.
I thought that was like in my mind. I thought like maybe it's like the nickname of the ex in question. So like, oh no. Oh my god. But yeah,
MU.
okay.
Children. Oh.
Like okay.
I'll read the next submission.
Like whenever okay. Whenever talks about Jowa or I was about to say mo again. Or MU come up, laging isasabat ng mom ko na ay hindi, wag niyo na tanungin, hindi yan normal. It hurt, but I've grown accustomed to it. Sometimes she takes it out of proportion and says I'm not her child. If there are people who have the same experience I do, let this serve as a reminder that you're not alone and everything will come to place at the end. Which is that's a nice sentiment, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a nice
But like
sentiment for others.
her story is like it's really it really hits hard because like imagine having to like leave your own house because your mom can't accept you, like which is it's definitely gonna affect you in ways that you didn't think, but
Super
Yeah.
sakit nung dinisown siya nung sariling niyang parents. Nang
mhm. That was by
Mm-mm.
that was submission by somebody who gave her their initials CJHS. So CJHS, if you're listening, just know that we feel
Your
the feel
struggle,
yeah, we feel
your
your
yeah.
pain.
struggle and we're here for
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Just stay strong and be yourself. Yung ganun.
Mhm.
Siguro medyo masakit sa part ng child kasi dinisown siya. Like, sometimes nga sinabi niya, di ba, sometimes na hindi siya na sinasabi na hindi siya anak ng mother niya. So, medyo masakit yon. Pero,
Yeah.
yun. Kasi
Yeah.
if there are parents watching this or listening to this, I just wanted to say something na you should be a role model to your child and you should support or
Yeah.
guide them instead
Mm-hmm.
of um giving up on them or disowning them. You should just support them because pag
Yeah.
pinagbawalan mo lalo, they will just do it because they will rebel. Yung
Mm-hmm.
ganon.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Just support and be happy
Yeah.
for your child.
Yeah. Like, question, Betty, like, has there,
Yeah.
like, ever been a point na naramdaman mong, like, if ever, like, before when you came out to your parents, have you ever felt, like, the threat of, like, what, maybe, if I come out, baka I'm gonna be disowned or I'm gonna be kicked out of my home?
Yes, kaya super late ko came out kasi super takot
Mhm.
ako, lalo na sa daddy ko. Since yung daddy ko, super strict and super, alam mo yung, no, imagine na dad, yung super rage on, yung ganon. So,
Ah,
Oh, like a masculine, like
yung
parang
super
ganon.
duper. Oh,
parang barako, kaping baraka,
And
char.
kasi I'm the only one na lalaki sa
Ah, ha,
Guryon.
ha, 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 ha,
oh,
ha,
I've been the
ha.
one spreading lalaki. So,
Same! Oo, ako,
pressure is a
wait.
pressure.
Oo, like, before I came out, share ko lang, ako na lang yung nag-iisang lalaking, ako na lang yung nag-iisang parang, I'm gonna be the last male of our name. Because like,
Oh,
the other one before me, turns out, she's trans. So,
oh,
yeah,
oh.
so medyo like naging controversial yun dati. Like, oh my God. It's medyo nakakagalit na sabihin, but she kind of became like a joke within the family na, ay, wala na. Tapos na ang linya ng tapos na yung linya ng pangalan namin, ganyan. And parang they're joking about na, ikaw na lang call yung natitira. Haha, too bad.
Oh
so,
no.
super bigat nung dadalhin mo. Like, it's a pressure. Super pressured ka. Yung
Yeah.
ganun. Kasi,
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for a cousin nga na lalaki na Guryon din. So, I'm waiting. I'm still waiting.
Mamaya siya din na,
Hopefully that
whoa!
happens.
Let's go!
Oh!
oh,
I mean, why
sana.
not?
Okay, but yeah.
Do you still
One more
wanna go,
submission.
yeah,
Daddy?
sure.
BBB?
Yeah.
Which
So,
submission was
yeah.
it?
Yung submission by VNH.
Bien?
VNH, the one with the homophobic parent.
Okay, do you want to read it or should I? Bernice.
Wait, they're swearing. You read it.
Oh, they're swearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ano?
I don't
I
swear.
can,
I'm so sorry.
I
I can,
don't know.
yes! Oh, a legal swear! Yes, this is by, I mean, I'm just
I
still
won't
gonna like
slap you.
censor it. Okay. This is by VNH, and she goes by she, her pronouns, and
Mhm.
this is her story. When I was young, I was already confused because I was attracted to girls. I got scared because I know I have homophobic parents. So I disregarded my feelings and convinced myself that I was straight, that what I felt was just a mere girl crush. When I reached high school, I started exploring. I met this girl who gave me butterflies. Oh,
Oh, that's cute.
yeah. I told myself that maybe I should try and embrace who I am. So we started dating. Shortly after, she insisted that maybe I should come out to my parents. I said yes, despite knowing what's gonna happen.
Oh.
No, no. It was
Medyo
midnight
scary.
when I sent my mom and dad a message of me coming out to them. The message said, "Hi, mom and dad. I know that you'll be disappointed in me, but I just wanna say that I'm gay or bisexual. I just want to let you know that this is still me and nothing changed. I'm still your little girl, Papa." I was so nervous
Oh.
up until next morning. My dad confronted me. I tried to explain everything, but he was just so angry at me. For 2 months, all I heard him say was, "Is tomboy." My mom didn't approve either. They were about to ground me up and that I should stop my studies. They want us to break up. I convinced them to let me study. I went on a year like that, hiding, ashamed. I got depressed. Up until now, we're still not in good terms. But I'm not scared anymore and they can't do anything about it either. This is who I am and I'm gonna prove that I can be successful. No one can make decisions for you except yourself only. Don't let them degrade you just because you're gay. You still have your rights, fight for it. Round
That's
of
so
Nice.
applause
Nice.
for
inspirational.
Miss Bien. That was
Yeah.
like,
You know,
that's to go
but
through that. That's
yeah.
amazing. Like, in coming out,
Super.
like, still having that fight in you.
Yeah, like she's
Yeah,
so
she became
strong.
strong. Super
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
strong.
Ate
Nice.
Bien. Mwah. Yes.
Yes,
Idol
we love
kita.
you. You know, when you were reading that, like, sa middle ng submission, I was going to cry. I was like, even if I'm not in her team,
Oh!
like, ah, this is
Super
so
sakit nung for a
super
year, she have to deal with that. Like,
Yeah.
living
my
with
God.
that. Oh my God.
Super
Wow.
Kahit
hirap.
yung,
Pero she came out strong naman. So that's good.
yeah, oh
Mm-hmm.
my gosh. That's so,
We love a queen. A very, very tough and strong, independent queen. We love you, Ate Vian. If you're out there listening to this, we know that your story is really inspiring. Like going through that and still coming out as strong as you did, and that's such a that it feels nice that there are people out there who who are fighting the same fight that we are. So
Yes.
thank you, Vian.
Thank you for
Thank
sharing
you,
your
Bien.
story. This is
So,
the
Nice.
kind of representation that we need in media, yung mga
yeah,
strong
True.
characters, the
telling
LGBTQ.
stories like this, it's what we
Yeah.
need.
Because usually, the people in LGBTQ, they're like the strongest people because they have
Yeah.
to like deal with like homophobia and everything, like
Yeah.
transphobia
And
daily.
discrimination every
Mm,
day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like again, hats off to Ate Vian. We love her here.
Mm,
She's a queen.
She's
So
a queen. Also, si CJHS. Thank you
yeah.
for sharing your stories with us.
And yung sa others na nag-share, it's nice.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
For the
and also
others,
to you, Betty. Thank you
yeah.
for sharing your story with the world.
Thank you,
Thank
Ben,
you
for
for
letting
being
for
here.
inviting me and
Yeah.
letting me share my experience. Thank you.
Hmm.
Thank you. Thank
Now
you to
I
you
think
as well.
now
I
I
think
think it's
yeah, it's
it's
time to
all
wrap it up.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
shall we? But wait, before closing statements now, like today we've discussed like what it means to be bi, like what it like the general misconceptions. Like we've told stories about people who have been struggling with being bi because of the way that society views them. And like I hope to our listeners out there, I hope like that you've learned like a little something from here. If you found out that something like it helped you realize something na you shouldn't easily dismissive of what people say to you. Like because that's one of the like main struggles of the bi identity.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. And
We hope that we were able to provide at least a little more insight on the experiences and struggles of the bi community. But of
yes.
course, let's again thank our guest, Bedivere or BBB, Big Bi Betty, for
Yes.
today
Yes.
and giving us a glimpse
You.
of perspective.
Mhm.
Yay! Thank you.
Thank you.
You're
Okay.
welcome. And okay, now before we go, shall we burns? Shall we?
Shall we do the outro? Betty, ikaw yung we
Okay.
slurp
What?
this. Let me type it
Oh,
Okay.
like
okay, okay, okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Uh
Okay.
there we go. So
Okay,
I'll
Okay.
go first.
Burns. Kick it off.
Alright.
Okay. Once again, this is the Alphabet Zoop.
Where we don't just spill the tea.
But slurp the soup.
Yeah!
Yes.
Mm. This podcast was brought to you by the Alphabet Zoo, with their hosts Cole Sapiok, Bernice Ko, our project manager Julian Reyes, our account manager Lyra Gloria, our creative committee Denise Ramos, Cole Sapiok, Bernice Ko, and Christine Kabungunay, and our researchers Gian Balo and Lander